into map number 1 on Nepal. And Nepal is an interesting map sideshow. You know, you get to see a lot of different compositions based on the fact that the stages are all quite radically different in the way they're laid out.
They certainly are, and I think this meta that we've currently got, the patch that we're playing on, is great for the World Cup. We've got players that we haven't seen before at this kind of high level. You know, you've got new talents, different hero pools, and almost anything is viable. We're seeing a lot of Sombra played at the moment, and it looks like Aputo is going to be bringing us out on this. And that has been, in the past, last year, a very strong pick for him. Yeah,
Thailand, I think, out of all the teams in this World Cup group, are the ones that are most comfortable playing the Sombra in general. And Aputo has proven himself as well. He's also, I mean, a lot of people think of him as this projectile main, right? This Genji player, but they don't actually know that he's pretty strong when it comes to the hit scan roles as well. The Widowmaker, and now the Sombra as well, which he's trying to specialize more into these days.
And both of these two teams very tight. We can expect a range of compositions as they feel each other out, going live with our first control.
Yeah, we absolutely are, and it looks like Denmark going to be running Fisher on the Brigitte, so Aputo's got to be careful of those stuns as well. Could be get caught out of position, but remember, we've got that infinite stealth on Sombra these days, so she can just really try and scout out the information. And there's the first hack, and it's all about the information game, really, when you're running this composition on the side of Thailand. No casualties just yet, but Ding, he's going to be able to put him down. Pan from across the map there. Shax follows it up as well onto Rocket. And that's a support gone. With the Mercy out of the picture, there's a lot of healing missing. And Denmark, they are in a very comfortable position to try and take up this first control point now. It should be theirs to take.
Yeah, very tentative approach actually from both teams. And Thailand look like they've taken a decent position. But with that Farah that Pan's actually switched away from now, that the right click coming out from Ding just utterly destroyed it. This is actually a very difficult composition to play the Farah into. That's why we're seeing the switch over for Pan. As he moves onto the Genji, that's going to pair well with the Nano Blade, but he has to get a blade up.
They've already got the Nano Boost. They're going to use it straight up onto Tita Watt. He's going to be pushing all of Denmark straight out of the way. Mickey's going to be the one, though, to collect the kill onto Shax in the end. He's moved into the back line. The rest of the team is there. Now he's going to be using that Primal Rage, looking to try and push them around all over the bloody place. Denmark often to use that sound wave, but it gets cleared out by Aputo's EMP. Beautiful maneuvering by Thailand as they retake the point, and this is another 1-5 for them, or it should be the first 1-5 here of this series.
Great play from Thailand there. Fantastic engage from Tita Watt, making use of the Nano Boost, which was up before any of the other ultimates. And Telex, I think, possibly shouldn't have invested that sound barrier. When you know that there's an EMP on the other side, it's just going to get obliterated. And now Denmark, though, they do have an advantage because they can push back in with this Transcendence.
Look at
Thailand
this.
take the advantage, though, take the initiative.
Straight up aggression. Mickey using a self-destruct to create space, and it looks like Thailand are going to be forcing out some ultimates away from Denmark as they're using the Transcendence to stay alive, bully their way onto the point once again. They're desperate for that kill onto Pani S, and they are going to receive it. But Shax now, he's being assaulted, 40 HP. Finally, Tita Watt gives him a punch in the face, and another Nano Boost was built up in that time. Ridiculous stuff, but it looks like Thailand are not going to be winning this team fight out. They're going to have to reset this one, just try and die on the point, get as much capture time as humanly possible. But Denmark are going to be, again, taking control of this first round.
Very back and forth game between these two at the moment, and it's Fisher that's provided his team with all of this armor, which
it's going to be beautiful.
It could be pivotal for the next fight. Padawan's going to want to make the best use of this Dragon Blade, but Denmark are going to be so ready for it. They should be tracking the ultimates. They should know exactly when it's coming in. They will have a barrier to pair along with it, so Rocket and Padawan, guys to watch here, see if they can get anything done with it. But it's really quite telegraphed.
Oh, an excellent first kill though, and Zenobi gets caught out of position, and now the blade comes out. It's going to be hard to get any value out of it because of the armor that they've got out up, but Fisher uses his bash early, doesn't get too much value, but that's going to be the 1-for-1 trade. Denmark still in this fight for the time being. Self-destruct going to be used here, and Denmark seem to be coming out on top right now. Thailand, do they want to commit any more ultimates? I believe you should just reset in this scenario, and it looks like they're going to be doing exactly that.
They actually took control of the capture point in the middle of all of this because Denmark had to sit so far back. They were trying to bait out the blade, successfully managed to do that. Dropped their Winston early on, Nerf went down, but that was all fine. Denmark is now stabilized and they have a huge amount of ultimates available to go. They've just got to watch out for this EMP. Thailand have to make the most of it. So back and forth so far in this first round, but here we go again from Thailand with the engage.
Samba, you super early. The EMP now is going to be unleashed as well, but kills finally going to be flowing in for Thailand. 3 consecutive, that's very quick, and with that said, the team fight should be over now for Denmark. They've got to reset this nice and fast, die on the point, get a bit more of that capture point. Thailand winning this out, and they're going to be able to flip it over.
Gotta be honest though, Brent, if I'm Denmark in this situation, I'm still feeling pretty good. 95%, 5 ultimates up across the board, and Danny at 97%. If they ever wanted an opportunity to recapture this point, they've got one right here. They just have to dodge this Nano Blade. Again, they should know that it's coming. These ultimates up so often, but what can they do about it?
2 support ults to use. The Nano Blade's going to come out. He gets a kill onto Kellex. He can't get the sound barrier up. He's going to get a second one and a third. Pan, you absolute madman. They finally shut him down, but the damage is done. Denmark, they had the tools to prevent it, but unfortunately wasn't good enough. The self-destruct is going to be used now in the tail moments of this fight. They're going to try and flip it over, but now it's the overtime. Mickey does end up getting desuited here, but Thailand, all they got to do is clean up the stragglers, and this first round should be going their way, but Denmark somehow have managed to battle back.
Unbelievable plays. Shax just hasn't been contested this entire time, pouring damage into everybody. Aputo has an EMP, but he's not going to be able to get it up. I think too low actually goes down. Rocky with the sound barrier, but he can't even get to the point. I think has to use it preemptively, and he won't even get there. What a nuts way to end our first control point here.
That is ridiculous. After such an overwhelming advantage from that Nano Blade, somehow Denmark managed to turn it around.
Pan did all he could.
Pan did all he could. Mate, that is actually ridiculous from Denmark to turn that around and take that first round. Thailand, they're going to be kicking themselves.
They absolutely are, but I think the silver lining for it is that it's as close as we expected so far between these two teams. As we said, last year when they faced each other, they drew. These, I think, are stronger rosters from both teams coming into the 2018 World Cup. So we've potentially got a cracking series on our hands.
This is definitely exciting, for sure. We're going to be moving over to the village section now of Nepal. And Denmark look to be teasing a little bit of a composition here. We've seen a bit of the May on village. We see it every now and then. It's very powerful at blocking off these choke points on the point. And Denmark going to be opting to just rush straight onto the point. Thailand going to be rotating onto the high ground as well. So it's a bit of poking, a bit of prodding from both these teams. I think Denmark are probably going to try and at least take position into one of these spots so they can take advantage of that May wall that we were talking about earlier.
And for Thailand, the idea here is to get a lot of information from Aputo, try and catch off somebody as they're transitioning in the open area towards that point, and then build up the EMP, because that EMP is still going to be devastating if they manage to get it on the point. Denmark have managed to get everybody in, the May wall blocked, and get the control point. So far, so good from them. Thailand now, the pressure is on them to dislodge them.
It really is. Class execution by Denmark to be able to do that one. Thailand, there's a big importance on Mickey as well to eat up these healing orbs from Denmark. Otherwise, they're going to have so much sustain on the point. Thailand, they're struggling to get back in. Aputo manages to get one hack on. Is that going to lead the initiation in for Thailand now? They're coming in. The wall comes out from them, but it doesn't block any of the players off. Still, Denmark in control. It's the slow siege, it seems like. Mickey gets desuited. Pan's going to be going down. Aputo follows it up as well. And Thailand, just got to reset this one, lads. Take it back. Reset, come back, you know, collect your thoughts, and try and think of a way to try and break this defense.
I think it's good from Thailand that they were able to be coordinated enough to bait out Fischer's abilities. The problem was they weren't then able to take advantage of the fact that his cooldowns were down, and Fischer's nearly built up to a blizzard. And in general, Denmark are ahead of the ultimate game because they took that first point, and already up to 50%. Thailand need to up the pace, up the tempo, and instead they're going over to the Pharah for more damage. So I don't know really whether this is the right approach.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, it's sometimes difficult to get these shots off, but they are going to be going in anyway. 2-1 again. The recipient of the nano boost, and they found a kill off the back of it. Damage boosting up. Kellex is going to be falling here. That means it's an opening for Thailand to really capitalize on. The question is, can they get into this choke point? Can they get even onto the point right now? It's very difficult to engage into this kind of composition, especially when Denmark right now, they're building up these ultimates. EMP comes into the back, but Aputo brought down straight away. Is there any follow-up whatsoever? Ding, finally going to fall. That will force out the sound barrier for Denmark. Still winnable maybe from Thailand, but they're freezing up Mickey all over the place. The CC is there. Crowd control abilities. Ground on surge. I don't know if it connected onto anyone there. Quite... My goodness, Denmark still holding on to this point.
Every ultimate in the world. Denmark are desperate to stay in control of this. They could have reset, saved these ults, and come back in. But instead, they've committed everything, and they must win this fight. Nerf goes down, and he had an Earth Shadow to be able to use here. There's only a couple of players left in Thailand, but they're trying so hard.
Mickey had to go huge with that self-destruct. He gets one kill as a result, but Denmark are too good at focusing down the right targets at the right time. This point should be theirs as the supports fall. It's going to be some last-ditch efforts to try and stall this one out, but it's looking like Denmark are going to be taking this first map here. They're so close, inches away, and there you have it, map one. Going to be going to Denmark.
Very strong performance, I think, from Denmark on that second point on the village. They had an excellent strategy, committed really well to the execution. They're looking strong overall, Brent.
They are. I've been very surprised, actually, at how well they were able to turn some of those team fights towards the tail end. Especially if you think back to that first round where we saw Pan, he got a lot of kills with that nano blade, but they still couldn't quite manage to capture the point out. And that should have been their round. That's what I'm saying. It's all going to come back to that. Thailand are going to be kicking themselves after just managing to lose that one and not be able to focus down the right targets at the right time to flip that point in their favor.
And we know from looking at the Denmark roster, Nerfed is very capable on the Rhine. The entirety of the European teams and players that we have here at Bangkok.
Very capable Rhine players.
All they play is Reinhardt and European contenders. So yeah, you really have to have a plan to be able to deal with that. And Thailand, it didn't seem like they could really pick the pace up too well. Puto not getting enough damage in for those EMPs. But a close series overall, and Thailand still should be able to stay in this.
I think it's interesting as well because we've been talking as well about what we're expecting from the metagame, at least from these teams. We've had a bit of a preview from the Burbank World Cup stop as well.
And Korea as well, of course.
And Korea, of course. But this is interesting because I've been speaking to a lot of pro players, and they've been putting a lot of emphasis on Sombra in general. A lot of Sombra, a lot of Doomfist.
You've just been having a chat with Johnny over breakfast.
It is just Johnny. I'm not going to lie. Johnny is very keen to talk about Sombra and Doomfist. He seems to feel like it's one of the strongest compositions being ran right now. And when we were talking to all these teams, it seemed like Thailand were the only ones that were really comfortable running a lot of Sombra.
I think some of the other teams will be keeping their cards close to their chest as well. I think
Caster's well known for leaking strats to other teams, of course.
Absolutely, but I think the Sombra Doomfist is an incredibly powerful strategy. It just depends whether you have the players to be able to play it.
Well, I have a feeling I know what next map is going to be, Josh.
Do you?
Because it might be on that monitor over there, but the audience, they don't know that.
He's a cheater.
So I'm going to guess that it might be King's Row.
Incredible.
It could be King's Row. Incredible. In fact, look at that. It is King's Row. Wow.
You are a genius,
I am
Brennan.
a genius.
This is why I love casting with you. You are the prophet. The oracle.
The oracle is what they call me. But we're going to be going to another little map explainer to break down this game mode for all you new guys at home.
This is hybrid. Two teams face off as either defenders or attackers. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to first capture a payload and then escort it along a set path containing 2 checkpoints. To capture the payload, the attackers need to stand within its range for a set amount of time. Defenders can delay capture progress by also standing in range. The attackers must work together to clear away the defenders. If successful, they score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. The payload only moves forward when an attacker stands near it. Defenders can delay the payload's movement by standing nearby. To get moving again, the attackers must clear away the defenders by force. If even one attacker is capturing the objective or on the payload when the time runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until the attackers are either cleared away or they gain more time by reaching a checkpoint. Every time the payload reaches a checkpoint, the attackers score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. The round ends when the payload reaches the destination or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points and escorts the payload farthest wins.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope that little explainer was useful. It certainly was for me, because I don't know what I'm doing. But we're going to be going into King's Row here. Of course, the map pick for Thailand is going to be rolling out with some compositions. King's Row, a personal favorite of mine, Josh. I do love this map. It's a personal favorite of everyone, I feel like.
Why do you enjoy it so much? You play
It's dark, it's gritty, you know. I actually really do like playing.
Are you dark and gritty?
I am dark and gritty.
I'm not sure I would use those 2 words to describe you.
No, you wouldn't. I just like playing Reinhardt on it. I feel like it's a sick Reinhardt map. It's really good. It's very choke pointy, which means it's easy to hit off these Earth Shatters. It looks like right now, teams are still setting up, but Thailand, no intentions of running Reinhardt in the slightest.
No, doesn't seem like it. It is a very strong map for this double sniper setup as well that Aputo and Padapan have got running. And I wonder what Denmark are going to come out with here, because they certainly could match. They can play a range of compositions, and Shaq's on the Sombra. I've been waiting to see this. The guy's tracer play is so good. Kobe!
Straight into... No, gets 8 up. No. Sorry, lads.
Danny's on top of that one.
Danny is on top of that one. That's some good piece of play right there. We're going to see Denmark look to poke and prod once again, searching for information. Fisher on the Genji. die DPS player, capable one of that. Right now, no casualties, just going to be waiting for the right moment to dive onto a specific target or two. His double sniper is quite weak to a lot of these dive heroes, but there's the target straight into the backline, and there he is. Panies goes down. That's a significant lack of heals now for this squad, but Ding is also going to fall on the opposite side, which means Thailand, they might be able to turn this one around unless Denmark can start to get some kills and pick it up. It's a scrappy engagement, but it looks like they've come out on top. Denmark going to have to reset this one, but they do have the superior spawn, Sancho.
They do. I'm not sure whether that's going to make too much difference. It was the backline there for Denmark that couldn't stay alive, and Danny, if he continues to be D-mech like this, is not going to have too much fun as well. It looks like Denmark are going in for a little faster engage, trying to use those additional spawns.
Yeah.
But with Shax going down, that should spell doom and despair for Denmark.
They're still going to be looking to try and get any value they can out of this push attack, because I think they realize Thailand are late coming into this team fight, and they're just kind of straggling onto the point right now. It can be a little bit questionable. It depends what kind of kills Denmark can try and pick up out of it, but here comes the Dragon Strike by a Puto. Are they going to be able to get any kills? Denmark slept! The Nano Boost was used there onto Nerf, but unfortunately not going to be getting any value out of it still. It's an even engagement for them. They're trying to bring down a Puto. He's going to get the anti-nade on them, and Fischer's going to be using the blade to clean up the rest of this fight. And Denmark will be taking his initial point.
Pretty interesting actually from Denmark. Both of those times they engaged without Shax being in proper position. The first time he was still trying to get a flank set up, and it was Fischer and Nerf that found that initial kill. The second time, Shax died, and they still commit to it. They just seem to have the confidence in their dive ability and their overwhelming aggression, and the fact that they had those ultimates available to go.
Well, here we have it. Shax, this is the power of Sombra, right? You can get all the information for the rest of your team. EMP comes in along with the self-destruct. They get no value though out of those two ultimates. They need to at least get one kill, but Parney's brought down Shax. Getting a little bit too greedy there in the back lines. Now Denmark on the back foot. We see the Dragon Strike unleashed by a Puto. See if he can try and segregate the rest of their team, and he gets the kill onto Nerf as well. So Thailand going to be able to defend this one.
They certainly are in a dangerous position here for Denmark as well. Could certainly get some extra players. Staggered out.
Oh my goodness, it's still turning their way though. Denmark, they still have the confidence and the aggression to try and get these return kills, because they know, again, they've got the superior spawns.
And Shax moving on to the Tracer here. This is one of his best heroes. He's been playing it a lot of European and North American contenders and looked fabulous on it when he was playing it there. Didn't have the most impressive performance on the Sombra, but now he's going to help in the dive.
Yeah, Tita Watt's going to be trying to force some of these ultimates out from them, but it looks like Denmark are going to be using some of their own as well. Now was used onto Fischer. Blade comes out. He's ripped through Tita Watt, and he gets the second one onto a Puto in the back lines. Get it, fights happening all over the place.
Get it.
You were really invested in that little individual 1v1 there in the back lines. But it looks like finally Denmark have broken through using their superior ult advantage.
They have, and at the moment Thailand is struggling a little bit, I think, because a lot of these fights should be more even, and they're either losing a player early on that goes a little too far forwards, or they're unable to predict the ultimates that are coming out of Denmark, even when they have ultimates of their own to be able to counter with. So I want to see Thailand really work on either playing more aggressive than Denmark or shoring up some of these difficulties, because Fischer shouldn't be able to go and get away with stuff like that.
Fischer, 49 HP in a dream. The kills are coming in. Puto's using his Dragon Strike. It doesn't quite look like it's good enough. Shax using his Pulse Bomb. So many kills now have flowed in for Denmark here. This should be a one fight if they manage to really salvage whatever they can out of the rest of this fight. The self-destruct is the last-ditch effort there by Mickey. Does manage to get a D-Meg, but again, not good enough, as it looks like Denmark are on top of the game.
And my big problem with this from Thailand is, where's the Brigitte? They're running energy, they're running Tracer. Both of these heroes should be shut down fairly easily. If you reinforce your backline, get a Brigitte in the mix. Instead, they're sticking with the double sniper, and yet Abudo hits a headshot there. But where have those been for the last couple of minutes? Thailand are very firmly on the back foot, and only now are making changes to their composition, with Nicky going over to the Zarya. Again, not something that I think is even the best way of dealing with full dive.
Well, they got a Nano Blade coming up from Denmark as well, and no support else for Thailand. This could be enormous. Fischer ready and waiting. He's been building it up, and here comes the Nano Boost straight into the backline. The Nano Blade. Kill, 2 kill, the bubble won't save you now. Panies, he's down and out. Can he find the third? Not quite, but it still looks like this team fight has been set up for the victory. The win condition is there now for Denmark. They're going to be able to find a couple. Tita Watt manages though in a nick of time, and Pans managed to turn this one around. That was looking so winnable for Denmark, but Thailand baiting them out.
Yeah, a strange situation at the end of that fight. I think pretty much Padapan getting a really good sight line as they pushed the cart forward, ended up swinging that in Thailand's way. But they did get a lot of push, and they still have a good opportunity to engage here with both the sound barrier and the primal raid. So, oh, that's absolutely pivotal. Padapan again saving things at the beginning of this fight. So difficult now for Denmark to engage.
And this is the power of the double sniper, right? You can use that recon arrow from your Hanzo player to try and get that information for your Widowmaker to hit these headshots. You can't corner peek like that when you know that that's available to them, because it's going to end in misery for you. And Thailand, they've set themselves up. That is really crucial in being able to... That's questionable, Shax. That is questionable, lad. I'll be having a word with Mayhem Academy after that.
Shax's normally a good Tracer player. Don't hold it against him, Brent. I've seen what he's capable of. But here for Denmark, they do actually have a problem. This final point is very holdable with the double sniper. And despite the fact that Thailand will kind of roll back to point C, they could hold for the whole of the rest of this time.
They really could.
And Denmark making changes. Shax says, I know that full stop, Brent, disappointed you, and therefore I'm going to switch on to the Widowmaker.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. I've noticed as well, Thailand, they're not afraid to throw out these dragon strikes as well. Aputo is confident enough to know that he's going to be building one up by the time that he gets his Graviton Surge so that they can combo it up again.
Building them so fast.
Yeah, they really do in this day and age with the new and improved Hanzo. I say new and improved, he's been around for quite some time.
He has.
That Storm Arrow. But now Denmark are looking to lead the charge. Initiating in is going to be that 6-man sound barrier. And now the Nanabu's going to be used onto Mickey so they can build this up. Rocky gets the boot onto Nerf into the pit. He's down and out. Fans clutching it out as well. And this is beautiful for Thailand. 1 minute 20 seconds. Denmark, they got to basically reset this one out nice and quickly. They've maybe got 2 push attempts, but Thailand are going to be close now to that Dragon Strike Grav combo.
And I think these kind of situations are where the crowd really comes into play as well. When you've got a situation where Denmark are just running their heads against a brick wall and Thailand are holding and holding, the fact that the crowd's behind Thailand all the time here, whole crowd advantage really starts to come in. They feel so confident.
Denmark going to be sending out that Samson shot. No casualties. Graviton Surge down. A Dragon Strike into the back lines, but it's an even trade right now. 3 for 3. T-The-Watt with the charge onto Fisher as well. They have managed to almost stall this one out. Still, Denmark not clutchable with the plays they got up. There's only so much damage to do against the shield of T-The-Watt as he's holding onto that Earth Shatter as well.
That's a strange decision from T-The-Watt. Has to back off and now recharge his barrier. He's given a bit more space for Denmark to work with. But a lot of ultimates about to be built up for Thailand, and he comes down to the right behind that. Can T-The-Watt land?
He's got to get value from this Earth Shatter. He's running away. He's so scared of him. The charge coming out. Nerf is bringing the fight to him, but now Nerf is in the backline. Another charge comes out. This is a Johnny Larson Reinhardt gameplay, if I do say so myself. The Earth Shatter does not connect onto a single soul, but I don't think it matters for Thailand because they're winning the fight anyway. Panny yes with the anti-gate. Nerf gets brought down. Overtime now for them. Denmark forced to switch over to these stalling heroes.
Desperation, hamster.
Absolute desperation, Josh. And the overtime comes down. Thailand do not allow Denmark to get that 3rd checkpoint.
What a strong performance from Thailand
Beautiful.
on that point C defense. Just beautiful stuff. Padapan really showing up on that Widowmaker. And yes, they didn't hold point A and point B for very long, but point C is so good with those sight lines, and Denmark couldn't find a way. Oh,
magic.
Tasty.
Oh, God, that's you'd love to see it. You really do. As a Lucio player.
That was about 800 health, wiped off the map.
Straight away.
Not quite,
that's
but
efficiency
nearly.
right there.
It really
that's
is.
Efficiency, baby.
With a little right click.
I tell you what, I am pleased to see a lot more Lucio being played as well with the subsequent
great.
nerfs to Mercy. You know, I actually enjoyed the Mercy meta. You saw a lot more Widowmaker.
So much.
Widowmaker, still seeing these double snipers, but also these tank compositions, and now Lucio and Ana coming back into the fray. You'd love to see it.
Absolutely do, because it increases the speed of gameplay so much as well. Allows you to play these aggressive dive compositions. Yes, you don't have as much stability in your backline as if you had the Mercy there with the Resurrect available and all of that sustained healing, but it's so darn fun, Brent.
It is so darn fun. I can't wait to see what your Lucio's like, mate.
My Lucio is...
because, I mean, people aren't playing Zen these days. I hope you realize that. You can't start feeding into the backline.
I don't know whether you can look at your screen right now,
I
Brennan,
can't
but
read.
Kellex is playing Zen now.
He is, okay. Yeah,
and
sure.
Ding was playing it earlier. You can't fool me.
Listen, Josh. You can I don't know if you can hear the crowd chants in the background, but this is like another kind of energy
It
for
really is.
Thailand.
They're
When
so
the
hyped.
crowd is on your side, I've heard it mentioned time and time again, and I spoke to Thailand. I said, do you think the crowd is going to be giving you an advantage? And they said, well, not so much. You know, Mickey was like, I focus on the game. But you can't deny there's something about it when you've got a room of over 2,000 people cheering you on. You can't help but be empowered by it. But now Thailand's turn to attack here on King's Row, and again, scouting it out, looking for information before they set up the dive, and it looked like they're going to be trying to collapse onto that one little player there. The D-Mech onto Danny, he's down and out, but Denmark are battering back. Fisher on the Doomfist manages to secure a kill, but still it's even trades all around right now. Denmark, this is a worrying scenario right now, because again, they do not have an advantage when it comes to using, I should say, the spawn advantage. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at.
There you go. You got there.
I got there eventually.
Both teams utilizing the Sombra pretty well, pretty effectively, but it's Denmark that comes out with Fissure on the Doomfist. And Doomfist normally a little bit of a weaker hero. Once you've used your cooldowns, bit of a potato. But when you're pairing up with that Sombra, he gets the perfect engagements every single time. And Fissure was just delivered Team Thailand on a platter in both of these fights.
It's disgusting!
And this is not some kind of supernatural ability from Fissure to know where everyone is on the map, despite not being able to see them. It's Jax, it's communication.
Yep.
It's Team Denmark working well together to set Fissure up.
This is the thing that Johnny was so excited about. This is the comp. This is it. Johnny reinforced Larson. He was saying it's all about that Doomfist Sombra. You got the scouting capabilities of Shax. He can set up these engages perfectly. And now we see Thailand with another opportunity to try and go in. No ultimates to their name. Denmark have a few, so I think right now they're going to be trying to force out as many as they can to try and take us a better team fight as a result of it, but Denmark, they might just choose to take the initiative.
Nanoblade available for them now, and this was the big one. It looks like Panny's actually trying to get a sightline.
Here we go. Right into the backlines. I think that might have been a Nanoblade into the back, but there we have it. One kill for them. Pan picked up a second one. Shax ended up using that EMP into the backline as well. We just caught that in the nick of time. So it is even trades. Thailand, they need to really sort of coordinate now to get the better end of this team fight. Hacked up T-Dawat. He is a walking potato now. He's a very big walking potato with 1,000 HP. And they have to back off from that.
Absolutely. And I think, again, there, the situation is that the Thailand backline wasn't quite ready for the counter EMP coming out and the dive from Fissure. They need to be able to shut down this Doomfist, I think, because their aggressive opportunities are not going so well. So Pan's made the move over to McCree. They're just going to be slowly taking room and trying to shut down Fissure as he engages. Dropped so weak there, actually, Fissure.
Oh, straight into the back. Shax wins the 1v1 against Aputo in the back. And that is not boding well for Thailand. 1 minute, 20 seconds left. They look like they still want to try and take this team fight. Ooh. But right now, I don't know how that wasn't a kill, but we're going to continue anyway as we look to go into this next team fight. Again, Fissure going to be using this punching capabilities as the Doomfist character to try and get as many kills as he can and force them out of position.
Tell me more about this punching capability.
The punching capability is a very strong Sideshow. If you hit him against the wall, usually it insta-kills.
Thank you for that hot tip.
No problem.
I've never seen you play Doomfist well, so I don't know where you're getting these tips from.
Oh, here we go.
Into the back. They're so good at being able to force out the supports of Denmark, but then what do?
This is wonderful. T-Dawat has really segregated them away from the rest of this point. EMP, though, nobody's going to be dying from that self-destruct of Denmark apart from Mickey getting the D-Make. If they can force down Nerf on the backline, this could be ideal for them still. T-Dawat, he's looking for that milk. He's going hard for it onto the point, but he's not quite finding the kills, and another sleep comes out. It's been clutched from Ding this entire game. Finally, though, Thailand, I was getting a little bit scared for them there, Josh.
It looks like they're engaging, actually. Denmark in, and they've got Fissure's Comet explosion ability to be able
Meteor strike, Josh.
That's
Meteor strike. He lays it down. He's got one kill, or he set it up for the rest of his team. But it looks like Thailand are really battering back. Pan onto the Tracer, trying his hardest to secure this one. T-Dawat. I mean, goodness gracious me. That is unreal. They should be able to get this one in the nick of time. A second left, and they finally do it.
I thought we were just giving nicknames to all of Doomfist's abilities.
I genuinely forgot the name of his ability for a second. I'm not going to front. You know, I'll be honest. You know, find me. I don't know.
Thailand, just in the nick of time, they're able to take point A. And I think the great thing that they're able to do is consistently zone out Ding and Kellex. Whether they kill them with Padapan or whether they pressure them away with T-Dawat's Nano Boost and then the Primal Rage, they are great at being able to get pressure on the Denmark backline. And this time they killed Fissure early on, and I think that has been a big problem for them throughout that point A offense. And this composition is again going to be difficult for them to deal with. The Pharah and the Mei come out from Denmark.
Yeah, and Thailand, they're going to be using that one. An boost by Denmark into the back. Shax, he's picked up Pani S, but not before the kills are traded evenly. No more supports up for Denmark now, as this fight is really going to the bitter end, into the streets of King's Row. Still even trades up. Nobody really able to bring down Shax. The South-Destruct going to be forced into the back lines, which means the kills still look like it's going in the way of Denmark. I think they're going to be happy the way this team fight has laid out.
Absolutely. Shax just stayed alive for a little too long there, and they've got to make some changes to be able to deal with it. They couldn't escort Aputo in without any pressure to be able to deal with the Pharah. It's very difficult sightlines when you're in King's Row because you have to look so high up, so much variance in your aiming there when you're trying to take down the Pharah. And so they've switched, oh well, they were going to switch Patapon over to the Widowmaker, but now they've thought better of it. I think they're just focusing on the ground battle now. They want to take the Mei and the tanks out of the fight.
They really do. I kind of like this little trade up here. I wonder who they're going to be using this Nano Boost on. They've been prioritizing T2 a lot, but he's close to this Earth Shatter. And again, it's hard to get value out of an Earth Shatter when they're running so many high mobility heroes on the side of Denmark. But we'll see what he can do. He gets blown up immediately. Shax using his barrage. Thailand a little bit too late there with that sound barrier, not getting maximum value out of it. Now we're going to see the Nano Boost used by Mickey, and it's just the tail ends that dregs this fight, and they manage to turn it around. Shax and Kelix, the only men's left standing, and that's because Shax has just respawned as well from the last team fight. Which means Thailand, I mean, I don't think there's going to be any contention whatsoever from Denmark here. They are getting this second check.
They definitely can't get men's there, I think.
Men's there. Man's not hot. Who knows, Josh? Who knows?
Do
your job and analyze.
Thailand's looking pretty hot right now, though. Again, Patapon was able to get into the back line and take that 1v2 against both of the supports. They aren't being able to shut down Thailand's offense, but then their tanks struggle a little bit. So it all comes down to point C here. They have some big ultimates to work with, Thailand.
He's got to get value. He only gets the one onto Fisher, but that might be good enough. Surely they're going to try and get the res as well. Oh my goodness, Kelix. That was ballsy, son. He gets Fisher back up.
How does he survive?
And they are going to be able to turn this one around. He took 2 hammers to the face there. Still managed to win it out. And
I'm
Denmark,
not sure I could survive one.
You really couldn't. I've seen you play Overwatch, Josh. It's quite tragic, trust me. But again, Denmark really recognizing the win conditions in these team fights, executing it perfectly.
Did execute perfectly there, and Mickey used his Graviton, T2 used his Earth Shatter, so now not as many ultimates, and this is the problem with point C of King's Row. Only 1 minute remaining, and you've used some of your major abilities that are going to be able to help you do it. And
anybody going to be dying from this one? T2, he falls. I think that was a stun coming out from Fisher. Beautiful execution. I was about to say tracking. I'm sorry, Atlas. I'm sorry. We're never going to forget that one, lads. But it looks like Denmark's still winning this one out. 30 seconds remaining. And Thailand, I mean, they got to reset this. They got to get back. They've only got one opportunity to really make this right.
I think back in Apex, you did actually have to track with the Brigitte shield.
Yes, of course. Sure. Sure, I'll allow it. I'll give you one. Don't worry.
Ding close to the Transcendence, and they've almost got the armor available from Fisher as well. This is going to be difficult for Thailand to burst, but what a great
goes down. This could be beautiful for them. Still, though, Fisher's finding the kill, and Shax wins the 1v1 against Aputo. You can't let that happen. Still, Thailand are getting pressure down. If T2 dies here, it's disastrous, and he falls. Ding using that Transcendence to really just try and win this fight out for them now. Mickey desperately trying to turn this fight for them, but he's going to fall as well.
Patapon
back in. He's got to clutch this one, but he's fallen off the map. No! He fists his way back onto the high ground. Not today, Anakin. And it's going to be beautiful for them to slip into the back line. Nerf goes down as well. Thailand might just be doing this.
Oh, but Shax is clutching 2 big picks at the end. Rocket and Aputo. They've got nobody to dislodge him from the high ground. He's got his sights available. Can just rain terror.
Lays down the Earth Shatter. He only gets 1 Mickey with the long range grab as well. Nobody's on the cart. And Denmark, off the back of Shax's clutch double kill at the end of that team fight, are going to be winning that map out. And that's wonderful stuff indeed. I mean, Denmark, these maps, they've been close. We knew they were going to be close.
So close.
I actually pinned Thailand as the favorites in this one. And
I think I would have done as well, actually.
It's interesting to see Denmark come out so strong here.
Denmark are looking great. They've got great coordination throughout the entirety of the team. And the 2 DPS players that we highlighted earlier on who play North American contenders, they were picked up out of Europe, noticed for their talent. Shax and Fisher have been playing very well in these clutch situations, getting good value out of the Doomfist, the entirety of the map there, Fisher, and it just wasn't to be for Thailand.
Denmark are the one team that we always talked about as the dark horse in this event, right?
The dark horse.
The dark horse. They've got the most opportunities to really upset some of these players. But for now, if you're a big fan of Zoe, I think she's got a special someone on the floor who she's going to be interviewing.
I now have a Puto from Team Thailand joining me here for a quick word. So it was a rough start against Team Denmark. What do you feel you guys need to change up for the second half of this game?
I think we should like slow the team attitude and atmosphere for like better because right now we like
What is the Widowmaker's ultimate called? I forgot.
we play too early and not right coordinate with teammate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so being a bit more patient and waiting it out a little bit more. And I mean, we saw on the second map, King's Row, Denmark did struggle to deal with your double sniper. Do you have some other strats in the pocket, in the back pocket, to deal with Team Denmark?
I'm not sure. I think our team don't try to like fix enemy team, but we try to play like muscle memory. Yeah, do what we practice. That is the best way.
All right, just do what you did in your practice. That is good advice for your team. Now, how is it for you? I mean, we've seen you in previous Overwatch World Cups, but now you're playing at home. You're playing in front of the home crowd. How is it for you to be here in Thailand and play Overwatch on the big stage?
Oh, so good.
Want to say anything to the audience in Thai?
Huh?
Talk to your audience in Thai. Anything you want to say to them?
ก็ขอบคุณทุกคนที่มาด้วยนะครับก็อยากให้เชียร์ทีมไทยดังกว่านี้นิดนึงนะครับเพราะว่าผมเชื่อว่าเราชนะได้นะครับขอโอกาสเนาะ
I don't know what you said, but they loved it. I loved it too. Thank you so much for joining me. Good luck in that second half. We're now heading into a quick break, and then we're back with the second half of Team Denmark going up against Team Thailand.